We're going to take a look at 4 subscriber gameplays and focusing specifically on the end game and see what they could have done differently to actually secure a win. This was highly requested. If you like your gameplay broken down, make sure you go ahead and check out the Twitter link down in the description. Also, before we jump in, I want to thank you guys. You guys showed a ton of support to my increased accuracy video where I talked about the new precision rings from Kontrol Freeks as well as how they combine with the Thumbsticks for better accuracy and increased sensitivity. So much support that they ended up deciding to boost my code all the way until the 26th. So if you'd like to get a pair for yourself. So in case you happen to miss that video, I'm going to go ahead and leave a link down in the top of the description. So if you enjoyed the video or learned something new, please do me a favor, hit that like button. Goal in today's video is 4,000 likes. So hopefully you can help me hit that number. If you're brand new, looking to find your way back for more Call of Duty content, make sure you are subscribed with notifications on. Let's go ahead and get into the breakdown. So this is going to be the first one. He ends up coming back from the gulag. So you can see for his perks, he has EOD, Overkill, and then Amped. And then right here, he has a decked out PKM and AUG as his 2 weapons of choice with the heartbeat sensor and a C4. So what ends up happening is a majority of the times is when you get in a position and you get all the way towards the end and you end up losing for whatever reason, usually you have to start from that point and work your way back. Was there anything you could have done differently? And that's what we're going to look at here. We're focusing on the last portion of the match. Right when the gulag closes is usually the key to go ahead and take a look at that. And right here you can see someone is near this buy station. He does have one teammate, ends up dropping plates for him. So this is all good stuff so far. I'll go ahead and turn that up a little bit. And normally what you really want to be doing in these scenarios, looking at the overhead view of the map, and you have to figure out, especially when it gets late game, what are the best positions to be in, and what is going to be the power position. Who's going to win this match if they're in this particular location, and start to value certain strategic areas. But overall, in this particular scenario, based off this zone so far, you know that near the top of the hill is going to be an ideal spot to kind of overlook. Has a little bit of head glitches because of the terrain, the way it's built. So all you're trying to do is rotate up there early. He ends up going over here to this house. He's marking with his teammate. It looks like they don't have any call outs based off the audio, unless they just didn't happen to record it. They push into the building, pretty much clear it out, close the door. This is all good to go, right? So this is a fine way to approach this zone. They end up missing out on the other loadout that was further away, but at least he has his weapons. He's going to have a little bit of issue with ammo. Even with the PKM, he's going to still really not have enough. It's just going to really be 1 magazine, which I guess could be enough for 2 players if you land the shots. His teammate's shooting at somebody. He's peeking it. So you know for sure somebody's on this left. There's still 6 teams now, but still a lot of players. 14 players, average of 2 per team. He marked the loadout drop there, so somebody could be going for that loadout drop. But looking at the mini-map, what we're going to take a look at here is that this top portion is probably the ideal position. There's no really buildings. So ideally what you want to do is work up this right side much sooner. Because by the time you get up here, this is not going to allow you to get up this terrain. You're going to be very limited on your direction of movement. And we're going to talk about that part. With these ones, I've already kind of watched through a little bit, so I kind of got a good idea on where the mistake happens and what they could have done differently. Obviously, hindsight's 20/20, but this is where decisions have to be made. At this point, you decide if you're going to go up this top left side where the engagement just happened, or all the way around this right side. Not a very good idea just to run across the road and kind of go right up against this.
Get to the safe zone. Movement.
It's kind of weird that he switched to his AUG for those ranges when everything's going to be further range. Maybe switch to the AUG for movement in terms of actually just cutting across. So good little swap there. And he's rotating across. The key is you got to be a little bit more aggressive going up this right side. There's only 4 teams left. There is a guy right here. I would have marked that on the map. Is he going to do that? Yes. So there's one guy at that top by that little hut that has like a little bit like a 2 steps. And then there's like a hill around the outside. So they're all fighting. This is where you kind of got to be aggressive because literally everyone on the map can see that there's gunfire there. Pretty much, literally, I mean, pretty much everyone, because how the mini map looks, it kind of includes the zone. So I personally would try to rotate up as quick as you can and try and get a little bit more elevation, because when you're coming from the bottom, easily they could peek, head glitch. They have all the power. They can determine when they see you and when they don't, and it can make it a little tricky. There's only 2 other teams left. They're fighting it out. You can hear the gunfire. I don't know how loud the audio is, but it's, you know, it's light there.
Less than 5 targets remain. Let's get it.
So you know where the last people are. They even marked it on the map where those guys are. That's it. It is a 3v2. They're in a bad position here. Teammate, he couldn't get up here. The teammate did. And here's where the mistake happens. I believe that this teammate should have pushed to this right side, since they already know where this guy is, and then they get the opportunity to get the flank. So it's not necessarily this person's movement that kind of messed it up. We're going to see. See, he's in an ideal position. He's got to work his way to the right, though, his teammate. He's pushing up left, getting some intel without giving away too much of his position. He's going to be forced up in a bit because of the way the zone rotating. And then you can see the guy right at the middle of the screen. You can see him crawling up there. And he's creeping up. And you saw another movement over here. May have missed it. It was a quick little flinch. But you see his teammate jump down instead of rotating. Once he climbed up, he should have rotated to the right. Because what will end up happening is his teammate could have shot at this guy, and then he would have come up on the left flank. Or he could have shot at this guy, and his teammate could have come up the right flank. Because whoever fires first, that's where the direction of the gunfight. So he got it down. That guy fell to his death. Teammate and him are basically touching. His teammate ended up getting caught in the gas because he ended up working with him instead of up this way. Look at how much room there is. He could have been in a good spot. I don't know exactly what that part looks like, but I know that there's at least a couple trees and a little bit of terrain in that general area where he could have split that area. He didn't have plates. If he does have plates, he pretty much wins that gunfight because he broke the dude's armor, and the other guy, that guy would have been melted. There's other things. Obviously, he's coming back from the gulag, so he doesn't have self-revive. That guy could have self-revive. He ended up killing the one, so it ends up being a 2v2. His teammates reviving him, and they just jump over and destroy him. I guess he threw something at him. They guess they could have seen him. I couldn't see what happened. Either way, his team ended up losing, and a lot of that had to do with this movement up here. When they rotate up here, they need to get up to the top on this right side, or once his teammate got up there, split. So this is where the mistake happened. It wasn't once the gunfight happened. They're actually in an okay position if they can rotate up and get to the right quicker. Right here is when they should have rotated to the right and came up the right side while these guys are battling it out. Third party it while they're low health, don't have a chance to plate up, you win the gunfight. So that one is just more about taking the position when you could. Since pretty much in this scenario, you're very limited, especially once they knew where you were, it was over. There it is. The guy's mounted. Oh, it skipped ahead a little bit in the recording. You can hear somebody open the door. He knows the guy's in here. The guy doesn't have plates. Oh man, he almost got gunned. The problem with this gunfight is very static in my opinion. There's no strafing, there's no jump shotting, there's no attempt at a drop shot. And that's why you almost lose the gunfight, just because you prioritize, just standing still. Watch it again. You even get less aim assist when you're standing still than when you're strafing. So I would highly recommend getting in a better habit of strafing, because that seemed like an easy gunfight, especially if you come out the window, jump across, get in a habit of bunny hopping. That could have been a thing. Even just strafing in the gunfight, That's enough to throw off, maybe miss a couple shots. And you could have saved a couple plates there instead of losing all of them. Damn, this thing skips every couple seconds. We got a guy out in the open. He's focused on somebody over here. So he's got to watch out on the rotation. Okay, so Zone 5 is already closing. We couldn't really get an eye on how many loadouts dropped at one time. There's 11 players left. They got 13 kills. They have M4, MP5 loadout. So it's looking okay. Got what he needs. He could probably have a precision. That would help. A cluster, especially since he has 4100. Maybe that's worth it to drop down and get one of those. Even if it's to use a UAV, that's pretty much the last buy station. If you've already cleared this area when you came out and took the other guy out, that could be a good spot for you to just grab a streak. And it could help late game since you already have a gas mask.
Gas is closing. Get to the new safe zone.
Skipped again. Like 15 seconds. Nothing's happened though. So again, he has a height with 9 players left, but he could be seen from so many roofs. It's kind of a weak position. Luckily, he could spot this guy here. Nice clean kill. But this is a fairly weak position because there's people could come down like on top of these other buildings that you can see on the minimap. Those 3 other buildings are higher than this building. So this is probably one of the weakest roofs to be on, in my opinion. Just because you could be seen from that building over here that he keeps turning by. The building to the side, it's about to be enclosed. Somebody could have already been on the roof. He jumped around still. Let's see. Oh, this guy climbing up. What is this guy doing? That guy was jumping. Had a trophy in there. See, so again, streak could still be a good opportunity. 6 players left. There's a guy on the roof here, and then there was one in this building shooting at him. Missing a ton of shots. 60 round mag might be a little bit better for this scenario, especially since this is your long range option. Even though it is solos, 10 bullets for a quarter of a frame difference in ADS speed. It's worth it in my opinion, especially since you have the MP5. There's somebody coughing on your right. Guy underneath on the left.
Bring home the win.
Here's somebody coughing on the right underneath you. Oh, almost got destroyed by the Origin. That guy had stopping power too? Oh, no, he took... Yeah, he had stopping power. Look at the damage. It's just the guy whiffed. The guy whiffed his stopping power. Right here when he jumps down. Look at the health. You can see he takes health damage first. He does have a gas mask. I would recommend getting a streak in this scenario. See, it took health and it took plates. So that tells you it was stopping power, but it looks like the guy probably missed his shot. Took him out. Again, he has enough money for a streak, and I would prioritize a streak in this moment, even with 3 players left.
Gas is moving in. New safe zone located inbound.
So he's got to rotate in. He's getting shot from the guy. There's only 2 people left. He has to plate up. You can hear the guy. He's moving out. He's going to run straight across. It might have been even worth it to not plate right away. But he could have been peeking this mounted. I don't know. It's hard to say because you don't know where the third guy is. You know where the last, like one of the last guys is, but you don't know where the third guy is. It's kind of hard because he's not looking at the direction where the person would be. So it's kind of hard to say what's going on. The guy has a suppressor. He's not popping up.
Gas is closing. Get to the new safe zone.
So potentially, if he's trying to relocate position as well, when he comes across this building here, he could actually run into this door. There might be a guy in there. It's hard to say. Does he go to the left where it's open, or does he come back this way? Right as it closes, he can go through this door because that side wouldn't connect to the other door. It's interesting. It's hard to say at this point. You don't know where that last guy is. He's kind of hidden. So that guy's still on this side. He broke through this door, so that door would have been fine. He could have probably even been sitting in the window if the guy jumps out. Oh, this guy jumped off. Zone's moving. There he is. Takes the gunfight. He's kind of left himself in a bad spot as far as positioning goes. Because if the guy's right here, he jumped down, got into the doorway or window or somewhere on this side, he's literally going to be... He can hear you coughing. It's a 1v1. And now you can see him there. He doesn't even have a suppressor. Floor loot. Did he have floor loot or was that a custom gun? He go into thirst. Execute. Let's see what the kill cam shows.
We'll secure the win next.
Yeah, what the heck kind of terrible. That's terrible, terrible, terrible. Like 3 terrible attachments. Did he even have a 40, a 50 round? I can't even see. Shows 44. He didn't even reload. This player should not have killed him. Peek this right side a little bit better. And then just pre-aim. Pre-aim this way. And he's not looking. I would pre-aim and kind of look that way as I'm walking. And he waits a little bit too long to check it. And he could have spotted this guy. Because he knows the guy has to rotate. I'm surprised the guy wasn't ready to shoot him as he crossed. So this guy wasn't looking this way either. But you know the enemy's right here. He ran straight across. He's literally right here. This is where you need to look. He looked, but he wasn't confident about it. You can even hear the footsteps. And this is also another good opportunity for the bunny hop, right? He knows where the guy is. The guy's probably not expecting you to ego chow. So what you do is you can run and then jump. And then you line up those shots. And at that close range, it'll probably be hard for him to track you. Because he's crouched. Probably not going to track you as you bunny hop and destroy him. And then you have enough health to get back into this gunfight. You could be at full plate. You get a little bit of time to maybe come out this way or that way. Peek that. You get a little bit more time for yourself. No guarantees, but different things when you look at it in the moment, how you're going to be able to address it. Also, with these types of jump offs, it can be a little tricky because you give away your position. Normally what I like to do, unless he felt like he scouted this area, we didn't see enough of the match before this, you could drop on this right side and then just deploy your chute before you hit the ground so you make a little bit of noise, not a lot. If you feel like you clear it, and then you just kind of creep up with the gas, and then you move up towards where you're looking to get to. Felt like I heard somebody. Or is that just door closing? Never mind.
Enemy UAV overhead. Gas is moving in. New safe zone located.
You hear the gunfire? He's not marking it on the map.
There's less than 10 to go. You can win.
More gunfire. He's not marking it. There's another one on the roof next to him. Which, like I said, that's a good power position up there. He's leaving himself vulnerable. It looked like somebody was sniped. Right on that roof. He's not marking either one. His marker wore off. So, he decides to push to this right side, which is okay. The thing that, in my opinion, though, is personally, I feel like when he's rotating, he could go towards his loadout or towards the buy. You got to kind of figure out your rotation, right? if he goes towards his left side, he already knows somebody's on the roof, and then that person would have to rotate. So I would go ahead and go back down through the bottom where he just came from, and then clear out this left side and push in, and maybe use this area as cover or this area as cover, even though it's not the best cover, and then work your way in, because there's not much cover on this side of the zone, on the side he's looking at. Let's go ahead and zoom ahead. So he goes up, pretty much checks it out. Kind of keeping a low profile. That guy just rotated. So he would have been able to been on the bottom, and he could have seen the guy rotate off and then been underneath that guy. Because he knew the guy was there. And this is a powerful position right here currently. Because you can gatekeep the right side, the left. You got a lot of power on this left side. This little right side isn't that great to rotate in. Because, for example, when you jump off this right side, you're kind of in no man's land. There is a little bit of a berm here on the minimap in front of this building. That you could have a little bit of cover as you rotate in. But either side, you're in no man's land. But it's probably a little bit better rotating on this left side. You have a little bit of cover. You can work with stuff. Versus over here, it's just basically, if you jump off, you're in the air. And all these people are going to be looking in this general direction.
Gas is inbound.
So now you have to rotate. And he got destroyed. Unfortunate.
5 remaining.
This guy is literally prone in a bush. What can you do about a guy prone in the bush? Heartbeat sensor, ghost. There's no way you could have hurt him. He has the tracker so you can see the footsteps. Kind of underrated in solos too. Especially when you're pushing a building. So, the only thing he really could have done differently, he didn't know the guy was there. That's just bad luck. Does that mean he's a horrible player? No. Personally though, I would have either rotated way earlier, like when you get on the top of the building here, rotate down and then around with the gas. So you could have rotated in this spot, behind this cover, and then rotate with the gas in. Even though that's not the greatest push, all the buildings are mostly on this side, so I would have taken the opportunity when he was on this building, rotate over. He knew the guy was on this building, could have rotated in, got into the building. As soon as the guy jumped over, he would have been underneath this guy, could have waited it out. This guy could have cleared out some people. He could have got another loadout if he needed. There's tons of opportunity to play that differently. He just jumped off, made a ton of noise, got into a gunfight where the guy was just sitting still. There's nothing you can do about that. And sometimes that happens. He was already thinking, I'm going to go to that building. And he already made that effort. And by the time he got to that building, it was like, well, what do I do now? The zone didn't rotate where he wanted. He could have had his own shift. I've seen it end on that building. And then he could have got lucky. But going where the building's cover is. So there is a guy over here in this building. He marks it already. I think the key with this one is over here. So this guy comes over on the quad. He probably grabs a loadout. I would imagine there's a loadout on the other side of this that he probably just lands and grabs a loadout over here on this quad, because I believe the guy gets back on the quad, as you can see here, and then takes off. You heard the doorstep. Easy kill. And I think this guy has barely started playing on keyboard and mouse. Recommendation though, if you are going to record or stream like this, I'd recommend putting your camera just a little bit higher, even kind of like where mine is, because then I can see your gun, your loadout, for a spectator helping out. You could see if they have dead silence. You could see if they have kill streak or whatever. It's kind of, a lot of this is hidden on your screen from being visible. So right here, what I would do is personally, I would push rotate on this right side. He wants his loadout. He wants ghost. I don't have the rest of the match to look at, but he wants ghost. He's going to go ahead and push over here to the loadout. And then instead of coming back the way he's already kind of secured, he pushes back this way. There's a quad over here. I don't know if that's the same quad from earlier, but that is a quad nonetheless. But either way, I would rotate. If you need your ghost, go get your ghost and then rotate back to this building. But the key is you got to time it a little bit better or have a little bit sense of urgency. And you're going to see kind of how he takes this a little bit slower than maybe you would if you're trying to go just get the loadout and leave, especially with no loadout there. Besides that one, that guy already grabbed his loadout, took off. He didn't get shot at once. Those are good, clear indications that there's not a lot of people on this side of the zone. He didn't get shot at while he was on the quad. That looks like a quad that's in the zone. There's one a little bit further, but I don't know if that was that one. So watch how he takes his pacing. It's 25 seconds to get his loadout and then come back to this building and then rotate with all these little junk that's scattered on the map that allows for cover so he can rotate in. So he grabs his ghost loadout, swaps the weapons. There are still 2 loadouts over here. Didn't see those before. And then he's pushing out over here. There's literally no cover on this side of the map. And this is where the fatal flaw is in the gameplay, which we'll go ahead and skip ahead just so we can see. So we have a little bit of rocks. The zone's not great. Train is here. Checking the train. He ends up spotting someone. Nice little easy kill. Guy probably back from the gulag that was over here, grabbed a loadout, and then jumped on the train. I would have probably even ran with the train so you could at least get to this edge of the zone, this right side. And there's even a chance to recover this one. He's looking that no one's there. That's all out of the zone now. There's still 7 people. You had to bet where the 7 people are? They're in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buildings. There he is. Guy was right in front of him. He heard the loadout. Or he heard the footsteps. Easy kill. So he runs up. He's getting shot from the guy in this building. And it's a key to know where this guy's getting shot from right now. So he's clearly nervous a little bit. Let's see what happens. So 2 different things you could do here. One is you could wait out because this guy has to push out of that building the same way you have to push away from this. So you could time it where you get caught in the gas because you do have a gas mask. Doesn't know how many, I don't know how many ticks are left on that. The other thing you could do is use the vehicle as cover technically. Doesn't have a trophy on it. Somebody just died here. So that's not good, or they grabbed their loadout right there. He ends up getting shot from the window here. That guy is not moving anywhere. So as soon as you get shot there, maybe you rotate to the vehicle. Or you can get to this wall. That's about all your choices. You're very limited because the rotation, you would have had to go kind of where I said earlier, rotate to the right where you already cleared, move your way up between all that cover, and then try and get into this building, rotate to the next building, rotate to the next building. Or rotate early enough. I mean, there's a lot of variables there. By the way, he gets beamed by some guy that has no plates with the Bruin sitting in the corner. And unfortunately, that's just how it goes. A lot of it comes down to rotational choices. Which way do you go? And him rotating to the left, it ended up netting him 2 easy kills. He shot the guy in the back, shot the other guy in the back, but it didn't really pan out the way it could have. If he rotated right, he probably would have been safer, but he could have at least been in cover. And the key with cover, having multiple lines of sight with cover, is if you get hit by someone you weren't expecting, you can get back into cover and then reset the gunfight. Fully played up. That's what he did here. He was trying to reset the gunfight. This other guy was in an extreme power position. This guy's probably not going to win because he doesn't have plates, but You never know. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you'd like to see more of these on the channel, definitely make sure you're hitting the like button, commenting down below, all that type of stuff. If you want to find your way back for more Call of Duty content, make sure you are subscribed with notifications on. Also, reminder, if you want to take advantage of my Control Free code, just use code JGOD at checkout or one of the links near the top of the description. Appreciate all the support on the channel. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.